Let's go to Arsenal's newest signing, Emily Fox, and Mr. Scott French. Speaking of Los Angeles, go ahead.
Thank you, Aaron. Hi, Emily. Just want to get your thoughts on the way things have started at Arsenal, and it's been pretty spectacular. And then also having to travel probably further than you ever have for a national team game, or at least to join the team for a national team game.
Yeah, Arsenal's been amazing. The girls, the staff, the fans, everything has been great. So I feel very lucky and appreciative of that. Very excited for them this weekend, getting a sold-out crowd at the Emirates. So we'll be cheering for them from here. And then, yeah, in terms of travel, me and Mia were on the same flight, so it's nice to have someone. And definitely longer than what I'm used to, but fortunate that it was direct, and I have lots of recovery modalities here at camp. So it's been good, yeah.
And as a follow-up, have you had a chance to check out London much, or has it mostly been work?
Yeah, mostly has been work, but when we have an off day, I've been trying to go into the city, and I really like markets and little vintage shops and all that, so I still haven't gone into central London yet. I'm realizing just how big London is and how many neighborhoods there are. So yeah, a little bit.
She said she lives right by a train stop, Scott, so.
Yeah.
Are you good, Frenchie? I think you are. All right. Let's move to Andrew Jones. Go ahead.
Thanks, Aaron, as always. Emily, just wanted to ask you, how have been playing under manager Jonas in Arsenal in terms of having to adjust to his tactics and also just playing in the WSL and how you found it in comparison to NWSL?
Yeah. Again, it's been very seamless in terms of I feel like I have a good understanding of what the coaches want us to do, and then I'm building those relationships with the girls on the field. And so, yeah, I think it's been very fluid, and I think the way I play on the national team and the way I played on the Courage have helped prepare me to play in the WSL. So in terms of the differences, I think both leagues are really great, and I think with the WSL, it's a bit more tactical. I have to break down teams, and I think with the NWSL, you get that really high pace transition and lots of running, but in turn, you also get the possession. So a little bit of everything.
You good, Andrew? We missed the very first part of your question. Was that it? You're muted. You're muted. Sorry, try again.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
now we can hear you. Yeah.
Yep. And have you had to convince anyone to see that North Carolina is better than Duke from over there in London? Has anyone had to do that?
That's a good question. No, I haven't. I feel like I have two UNC girls with me, and then Heyo came over, and Tobin's been following along too with Arsenal. So I feel like we have a pretty good, group of people that are obviously North Carolina. So not yet.
Let's go to Joe DiPolito. Go ahead, Joe.
Thank you, Aaron. Quick question about Latin American soccer. In your national team career, have you had a chance to play against many teams from Latin America or the Caribbean? And if so, how would you assess the development of women's soccer, at least from what you've seen from those teams?
Yeah, I think within my experience of being on the national team, the growth of Caribbean teams and Latin American teams have been huge. I think in turn it's just women's soccer in general is getting bigger, and there's more funding, more resources, and I think a lot more people are watching. So in general, I think as a whole, everyone is getting better and better, which you love to see. And I think you saw that in the Euros, in Concacaf for qualifying for us, and then also in the World Cup last year. So I think for us going into the Gold Cup, we know each game is going to be a challenge, and a lot of teams have really amazing individual talent, and so being aware of that. But yeah, treating each team with respect and knowing each game is going to be hard in this Gold Cup.
Now, as a follow-up, what has most impressed you about the development, either as a whole or certain national squads in Latin America and the Caribbean? And any specific examples or incidents stand out in your own mind as examples?
Yeah, I think because of the exposure of Concacaf of the World Cup, you're getting girls that are able to play in really high-level teams. And so I think they're able to bring those experiences playing on really high-level teams like a Lyon, and then bringing that back to their national team. And so I think it's just the connections and, again, being able to be in high-level environments and then bringing that back to their national teams and learning from it. And I think that will only continue to grow as there's more scouts, more resources to ID players. I think it'll just keep getting better and better.
Well said,
Thank
Emily.
you very much.
Thanks, Joe. Let's go to Cesar Hernandez. Go ahead.
Hi there, Emily. Seth Svennis here from ESPN. Thanks for taking the time today. So, when considering that Olympic qualified teams like Brazil, Colombia, and Canada are in this tournament, would you say that the Concacaf W Gold Cup has potential to be ideal preparation for the U.S. for Paris 2024? Or on the flip side, would there perhaps be an even more ideal way to prepare for the Olympics in this international window? Thank you.
Yeah, no, I think this Gold Cup is amazing preparation for us for the Olympics. It's the longest time we're going to have together as a team, an entire month. So I think for us, our focus is on the Gold Cup and on the tournament and how we can learn from it and prep for the Olympics. But in terms of the competition, I think it'll be great. And I think each team is going to pose a different threat, and we're going to have to adjust and also keep true to ourselves. So I think, like you said, with Canada, with Brazil, with Mexico, like we're having that rivalry as well. I think there's a lot of teams, Argentina, who are playing in the group that you saw in the World Cup, Haiti versus England. Like, I could keep going. I just feel like there's, it's going to be really exciting, and I feel like there's a lot of teams that, again, people are going to see and expose to and see that they're growing and they're getting better. So, yeah.
Let's move on, unless anyone has any more questions for Emily. The last one will go to Lakin Littman. Go ahead, Lakin.
Hey, Emily. What are you hoping to get out of playing overseas? Like, what specific things do you hope you can learn or add to your game?
Yeah, I think for me, one thing with Arsenal is there's so many international players on that team that play for their national team. So just playing with the best of the best, learning from them, and that was a big draw to go to Arsenal. And then I think, again, it's just going to Europe. It's a different style, and I just wanted to get exposed to that and see it as a challenge. I want to play in Champions League, and I really just want to experience it all. So that's why.
And if I could ask one more question,
course.
Aaron, if you don't mind.
Yep.
Emily, what are you hoping to see from the national team, just given this is y'all's first tournament since the World Cup?
Yeah, I think for us, end of 2023, we were really excited and like wanting to keep going. And so I think now that we've had, the off season and all that, I think we're really excited to get back into it. And again, I think the Gold Cup, it being a tournament and us being together for a long period of time, I think we're all really excited to, get those connections, that chemistry, and really make a statement at this tournament. So.
Thanks, Lakin. Speaking of London, we have another one. Let's go to Peter Lennox. Go ahead, Peter.
Hi, Emily. I'm actually up here in Manchester, but
sorry about that.
yeah, good luck with the game this weekend, though. Emily, can I just ask you, please, just as we have Lindsay coming up, what does she offer the team, both as a player and a captain?
Yeah, I think with Linz, from even when I was watching her when I was not on the national team, I feel like she's so composed, technical on the ball. I also feel like her just in the air too, aerial presence. And I feel like for her, she's really good at those one-on-one talks, in the locker room before games. For me personally, she did that a lot, like first game of the World Cup, and I really needed that. Just a little one-on-one talk to prep you and then tell you that you got this. So, yeah, I think with Lynn's, she's dominant in the midfield, and I think her final balls and obviously her aerial presence are two things that I think of immediately.